the time has finally arrived where I get to crack some PSA slabs. So I've shown you guys before that I had graded this Slowpoke and Psyduck tag team and it only came back a 6. And I also picked up this Pachirisu in a 7 for the sole purpose of cracking these slabs. So I've seen lots of people cracking PSA slabs, and in these two occasions it's worth cracking them because either I could resubmit them or sell them as raw copies, because the value of these two slabs is actually less than the raw copy, and in my opinion these two cards are better quality than what they're graded at. So before we start, a couple of tools that I'll be using. First things first, safety glasses, because we are going to be breaking the plastic and we want to avoid any accidental injuries. We have these pliers, a flathead screwdriver. I couldn't find a bottle opener, which is the most recommended tool, but I'm going to try using this wrench in substitution of that. If it doesn't work, we have the pliers. And finally, my multi-tool. So I've seen people use this and it worked great for them, but it is a bit messier. So we're going to try all the different methods to see what works best, and we'll learn as we go. So let's jump right in. All right, so let's start. So I'm going to start off with the Pachirisu to crack it because it is a lower value slab. So if you are cracking for the first time, test it out with a lower value slab just in case you make any mistakes so you can learn from it, and then we'll move on to the tag team. So we have it right here. So first thing I learned is you got to crack the corners and then you could just pry it off, or you could use a flathead. So we'll test all the different methods. I might even test the multi-tool, I don't know yet, but I'll have it right beside me in case I do need it. So first of all, let's test this thing out to see if it works. I know bottle opener is recommended because it is skinnier. Like this wrench is very thick, so I don't know if it's going to actually work. I didn't even try it yet, but no, it's not going to work. So it's like, maybe this side might work. So you just have to like pry it off. Oh yeah, it is kind of working. So it is a bit big, but I think the plier will work better. Oh yeah, there. I did kind of crack it already, but it's just too thick of a metal. So pliers will work great because I saw you could just like pry off the back like that. Oops, I should probably wear gloves, but I'll be careful. Oh yeah, see, you guys could hear the cracking. I'm gonna try to bring it closer to the camera to see. But that's the whole point. Like, you're supposed to just crack the two layers so they separate apart. Oh yeah. I'm a bit scared right now, but once I get the hang of it, I'm sure I could go faster. Kind of destroying the slab right now, but that's the point. I want to be careful with the actual card. I don't want to damage it, so I gotta be very careful here. Oops. Also careful with my fingers to not hurt them. Slowly starting to pry it open. Apologies if it's slower than what you guys expect. Of course, this is what you're gonna experience when it's the first time doing it, and when you have proper tools or whatever like that, it's probably easier. But I think I'm gonna get a hang of it. Like, you could kind of see it's like destroyed, like I destroyed the slab. Only part I'm worried about is this thing, but I think it's not that deep. But I heard you could just pry it open. Like, you could already see it's like coming apart right here. Do you guys see that? Here I could bring on the multi-tool, or sorry, the flathead. Probably don't even need the flathead, but we'll try to pry it open like that. You know what? I want to test something out. I'm going to use the multi-tool to cut open this, or yeah, the top of it to see how well that works. And then if it's too loud, I'm going to skip that part and I'll join you guys back later in a minute. But let's start that up. Alright, so I did go over it with the multi-tool, but one problem with that is it did melt the plastic. So you guys could see like the plastic kind of came apart. It gets really hot, so it kind of messed up my cutting board too, but that's fine. It just gets really hot and vibrates the slab. So probably won't recommend using a multi-tool, to be honest. It makes a huge mess as well. Prying it opens better, but with the multi-tool, one thing that's cool with it is you could just crack it now. Alright. Oof. Alright, so I basically cracked it in half. Good thing we're doing it with a lower end slab, so hopefully I don't ruin the card inside. Right, so, oh yeah, there you guys could see, you could just pry it open. Okay. Almost there. There we go. Oof. I completely destroyed it. You know what? I'm just gonna pry the card out. All right, so let's inspect it. Honestly, no damages on it. Good. Nothing on the front. On the back, let's see. It was just a little bit of dust from all the plastic that was like vibrating. Let's see if there's any surface damage. Could you see anything on camera? I don't know. Can't really catch the light on anything because usually if there's a dent or a heavy scratch, it would result in a 7. But honestly, this card looks pretty clean. It could have even gotten a 9. Very nice looking card. But let's leave it up. I think it's like near minty. Yeah, there's nothing on it. Just some minor edge wear that's not going to get a 10, but it is still near mint by definition of like near mint. But anyways, that's the damages. So that's this, that's like the souvenir we have from the slab. You could probably crack it open, but it might hurt my hand. So let's use the flathead to go all around it just to test it out and to get some more experience with it before we move on to the tag team. So you could just do it like that. See, one problem is you got to be very careful because when you put the flathead inside, you risk hitting the card. So you don't want to hit the card that's going to cause whitening or a crease or a dent or anything like that. So with the flathead, you really need to be careful when you pry it open. That's it. Here, let's go all around. That's basically how easy it is. Like, I didn't use the tool, but I used my hands. You just got to be careful you don't cut yourself or hurt yourself. Anyways, that's the slab. So that's really it. So they like fuse these two together. I don't know if it's glue or just like they fuse it with like friction fuse. I don't know what method the PSA uses, but they like snap their slab together so it's nice and tight when you use it. But let's clean up the area and let's move on to the main event. All right, now time to crack this guy. I'm going to be very careful with it because it is an expensive card. Like, it's $100 Canadian raw. So you got to be very careful with this card. Can't really afford to damage it. But let's do the method. So let's take the pliers because I found that one was the cleanest and easiest to do. I've seen bottle opener method, which is even easier to do with this one. With the pliers, I feel you have like more control over them because you could really take it to the edge and just like kind of crack it. Oops. Yeah, I got to be careful. The top is a bit easier than the bottom because you got more room. All right, maybe I should do it the other way. I found that was easier. Okay, we got it. Just got to loosen it up a little bit. Yeah, see? Cracking. So now you go all around. Maybe put a little bit more force. Yeah, create some bigger cracks just to see. Okay. As soon as we get it out open, yeah, right there. Oopsie. Okay, yeah, just get like the jaws of your pliers to kind of pry it open just like that. Hopefully it shows well, but just like that, you guys could see, you're hearing it being cracked. That's it. Like I said, going from the top is a lot easier than the bottom. You have a lot more room. It does destroy the slab, but who cares at that point? You're already cracking it to get the card that's inside. You don't care about the slab unless you want to preserve the label, maybe. You could try doing that. I've seen people preserve the label, and then when they resubmit the card, they could compare it to see if they actually got an upgrade or not. I've seen lots of photos of that. I don't know if I'm going to resubmit these cards or sell them raw. We'll see. But I'd have to really inspect it to see if it's worth resubmitting. There we go. Honestly, I just did the top and I didn't even bother with the bottom. But let's go on the sides a little bit to create a bit of a gap, and then we could probably pull the card out, or I'll go all around it to see if that works as well. But let's do that. So I went all around, and I'm kind of worried about this thing because it kind of went over the card, but I don't think it went through it. It's just like a hairline crack that transferred when I pried open the side. But I think at this point we could just open it up. Like you could see, it's pretty easy. I could free the card. There we go. All right. Oh, shoot. There. Card is secure. No scratches, no damages from that. Looks good. Honestly, I don't even know why it got a 6. Like, the more I look at it, the more I get mad. Because there's no reason it should have gotten a 6. Whatever. We live and learn. I mean, it's PSA. You can't really argue with it. There's no reason why it got a 6. They don't give you a report afterwards either. You kind of forced to just accept it. But that's the card. All sleeved up. Looks very clean to me, honestly. I was expecting at least a 9. An 8 was my safe option, but the 9, that's what I was hoping for. A 10 would be a miracle, but obviously miracles do exist with PSA, so centering is pretty good on this one. There's no reason it should have gotten docked for centering, just a minor whitening on the corners. But nonetheless, cards are free now. That it was really not as difficult as I thought. You got to be a bit patient with it, prying open the corners and the edges. Honestly, if you are going to attempt it, first try with the cheaper end card, and once you get the hang of it, you'll be pretty comfortable and it's pretty easy. So I don't know if it's like glued onto it. Oh no, it's not. It's just like a laminated sticker almost. Well, this is going to be a souvenir for me. Honestly, if someone wants, they could probably collect these like cracked open slab labels. It's actually pretty cool to collect them, especially if you graded them yourself. All right, so my cards are free now. I cracked the slabs. I have the evidence right here. So really that was it. You guys saw it. It's not too difficult to do. You just have the tools with you. Prepare your space. Wear some glasses, highly recommended. Wear some gloves if you guys want. I messed up and didn't wear gloves, but luckily I didn't hurt myself anywhere. But you are dealing with plastic, and when it cracks, it does get a bit sharp. So I would recommend gloves as well for you guys. And that's the video. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new here, and share this video with anyone that will find it useful. Anyone that's looking to crack a slab for the first time and wants to see someone else do it to see how easy the process is. I mean, I tried to break it down as much as I could and show you guys my first time doing it. So as always, thank you guys for watching.